Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 233rd episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. There's very few, if any, rappers alive who have the type of worldwide instant recognition that Snoop Dogg does, and there's many reasons for this phenomenon. For starters, he's pretty much as hardworking as they come. In fact, I believe he's done more features than any artist out there, and he's still working constantly. In fact, it was just a little while back now that he joined back up with Daz Dillinger and Corrupt to release a new Dog Pound album. I've already discussed Snoop's early days with Dr. Dre in both my Doggy Style and Chronic reviews, so I'll link those down below because today we're tackling an era that came a little later into the 90s, with Snoop Dogg's fourth album, No Limit Top Dogg. This was actually his second release on No Limit Records, but it really doesn't sound anything like its predecessor, because label owner and founder Master P largely took creative control of Snoop's debut for the label. The game is to be sold, not to be told. There's still some merit to that project, but after the less than ideal reception from critics and fans, Snoop was able to take the reins for the following LP, and in doing so, he made an experience that for me personally is only really rivaled by his first album when it comes to the best in his discography. He had one more album on No Limit following this one, that being 2000's The Last Meal, which doesn't quite live up to the personal favorite we're discussing here, but I do still think it's one of Snoop's more overlooked releases. But back to today's focal point, I absolutely loved this LP, and it takes a massive step up in quality from the two projects that came before it, partially due to Snoop Dogg reuniting with Dr. Dre and other California gangsta rap pioneers like DJ Quick, who helped balance Snoop's newfound No Limit era with the funky West Coast sound he was rooted in. One moment I always return to on this thing is the killer track My Heat Goes Boom, which has one of the best beats on No Limit Top Dogg, with these enveloping drums in a super addicting sample loop. And the song before that one, titled Trust Me, is also a top-tier album cut, providing iconic verses from Sugar Free and Silky Fine, and with a hook this catchy and memorable, it's crazy that this track didn't become a bigger hit. I think this LP in general is also sequenced very well, especially the first half where we keep relentlessly getting hit with banger after banger, with a wide variety of songs, ideas, and lyrical concepts. One other moment that always stuck out to me is the heavily Slick Rick-inspired track, where Snoop gives us a ghetto LBC retelling of the classic Cinderella story, just with a gender swap and a bit less glitz and glamour. As I mentioned, this song has clear references and stylistic little winks to Slick Rick, like the vocal inflections and knack for descriptive, linear storytelling, but this was nowhere near the last time that the Dogfather would show his reverence for the ruler, considering how Snoop was lovingly using Slick Rick created terms from his very first solo LP, with Lottie Dottie literally being a song name on Doggy Style. I think it's so dope how No Limit Top Dogg is able to switch from kinda low-key and vibey moments like those to the more hard-hitting, in-your-face sound that No Limit was known for, which is probably best exemplified through the smash hit single Down For My Ends. It may have been the energy-filled chorus that really helped that song take off on radio and the charts, but I feel the verses get a bit overlooked, as everyone who took part in this song had a grade A performance, from C Murder to Magic. As you can tell, Snoop invited many of his No Limit label mates on here to help represent the tank, and the highlight in this department is definitely the massive posse cut Ghetto Symphony, which takes the instrumental from the original iconic Marley Marl group track and kind of repurposes it by giving the beat a more minimal, bare bones approach that really doesn't betray the point of the original, in my opinion, yet it still provides it with a new twist. I love the cypher energy of this song, and it gifts us with a top-tier ensemble of No Limit roster members, including Goldie Loke, Mia X, Fiend, See Murder, Silk the Shocker, and Mystical. While that covers the bulk of the features on this thing, there are some other guest appearances outside of the ones I mentioned earlier, which come from the likes of Raphael Sadiq, Nate Dogg, Jewel, Dr. Dre, Mossberg, Warren G, Exhibit, and Sticky Fingers of Onyx. I also mentioned a couple of the producers who contributed to this LP, like Dr. Dre or DJ Quick. But they're not alone when it comes to the killer instrumentals here, as there was also assistance by names like Buddha, Ant Banks, KLC, Jelly Roll, G1, Def Jeff, Goldie Loke, and Meech Wells. When it comes to my honorable mentions on Snoop's fourth studio album here, I think I would have to go with Ghetto Symphony, Don't Tell, Buckham, In Love with a Thug, G Bedtime Stories, Down for My Ends, Better Days, Bussin' Rocks, 20 Minutes, Gangsta Ride, and I Love My Mama. Then for my overall top 3 favorites, I had to go with Trust Me, My Heat Goes Boom, and Bitch Please. Thank you for watching my 233rd video. Next up, we're gonna check off another iconic solo Wu-Tang project. So look for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what tracks you return to the most off this late 90s classic. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Yeah.
Look, the key to my soul is locked in the cage it opens. The framework was made from my own rib cue. What came first, the crack or the crack light, or whichever one the first fiend used to bring back